I've never met anybody who didn't own one.
Do you still live in the 1990s?
Nope. Frugal people just don't buy that. If you've ever had a conversation like that, even a casual conversation, say at work or at the school PTA or at a business event or even church, you are probably a frugal person.
And you just reveal that you don't own or have something that everyone else has.
We thought it'd be really fun to talk about things that everyone else seems to consider to be a necessity that frugal people just don't buy. Now, we've made our own list, and as we go through the video, we want you to vote in the comments section, necessity or nope, not a necessity.
If you don't know us, I'm Larry.
And I'm Hope.
And we're from Under the Median, where every week we bring you videos on practical frugality.
Let's get started. Item number 1 that everyone else seems to consider a necessity, but frugal people just don't buy it. That is brand new clothing. Not only do we go to thrift stores and garage sales and church rummage sales, we kind of brag about it. I had a winter coat everybody like raved over, and I was like, $2 church rummage sale. Do y'all do that? I mean, it's not that I'm super prideful that I don't spend very much money on clothing, but I think it is really cool when you go someplace and you find something that is virtually brand new, that is name brand, that somebody else bought and hardly ever wore, and they donated, and you buy it for 85% less than they paid for it. There's something just very gratifying to the frugal soul about being able to do that.
I have a comment on brand new, just the brand new, okay? Comment on brand new. It's only brand new the first time you wear it, okay? That's it. First time you wear it, it's brand new. After that, it's used clothing. So, why bother?
Second thing, necessity or not necessity. Disposable bottles of water. We have to just put this out there because we like to be really honest. We have a couple of cases of those little water bottles. We keep them in the garage every once in a while. Look, if you are sending a child on a school field trip, you are not going to send your name brand, kind of expensive, refillable water bottle with them because let's just face it, kids aren't real good at remembering where they set things down. I have lost so many water bottles that way. Even when my kids were at college, they're like, that water bottle you gave me? No idea where it's at. I'm like, oh my gosh, really? So I kind of stopped doing it. So, we don't go through them very much, but we do have a few of them on hand. We get them when they go on sale, though. I will say, we wait for a really great sale on a case of bottled water, and we pay between $2 and $3 for a case of bottled water. We get a couple of them. We set them in the garage, and we use them really slowly. That makes a case for bottled water. But as a whole, we really, really like the high-end water bottles, especially for us.
Oh, yeah.
Like when we're exercising in the summer, and I'm walking, and he's riding his bike, and it's hot outside, you're definitely going to find us toting a refillable water bottle. Ones that keep stuff cold really, really long time.
I got to say, in regard to biking and walking in hot weather, Hope and I went out today. It was 40 degrees with a 26-mile-an-hour wind gust coming out of the northwest. And we got out in that. I rode 10 miles. She walked, 1.8 miles?
No, it wasn't even that.
It wasn't.
I got okay, true. It was 1.38 miles. It was hardly even an honest effort. And he told me, he said, go north from our house because the wind will be at your back. Well, you know what happened when I turned around? I was freezing. I felt like I was an Eskimo. I was dying. And I was walking home thinking, I am not going to make it. I was so cold. But we still went out and did it. Warm weather is coming, people. It's coming.
We prefer warm weather, trust me.
All right, next thing to vote on is, I'm going to turn this over, new cars. All right, everybody repeat after us. Cars go down in value, not up in value. They depreciate. The minute you drive them off the lot, it's a lot to pay for a new car smell. honestly. They detail used cars around here pretty well, though. They smell almost like that brand new smell.
Well, they have a spray can that smells like new car smell.
Are you serious?
They
Is that what it's called?
in the car. Yeah, they can actually duplicate that smell in your car.
But we're paying thousands and thousands less than that new car smell with that new car. They go down in value. Look, unless you have a car that they made like 20 of.
Like a Citroen DS. That's a classic car.
There you go. If
now that's going up in value
go.
as we go on. But the cars that you drive on the road typically are going to go down in value. In fact, they're going to go down big time the first 20 minutes you have that car on your driveway.
All right. Used car, new cars. Vote. New car necessity or absolutely not?
I like to say something about new car.
Go ahead.
New car. It's only new for about 20 minutes while it's in your driveway. I'm sorry.
He's doing a lot of this today. You're going to see a lot of air quotes in this video, guys.
My point is, even if you buy something brand new, it doesn't stay new that long. It's used in a very short order.
Expensive cell phone plans. All right. This is our soapbox we are getting up on. Mm-hmm. We paid a lot of money for a long time for a cell phone plan, and then we discovered Mint Mobile. Y'all, you know, you've heard us say before, we really, really love Mint Mobile. And it's a good thing we like to talk about Mint Mobile because they are our partner for this video, guys. Have you ever sat down at night and thought, why is my wireless plan so unbelievably high? That happened to us probably 2 years ago. We sat down and we looked at each other after paying the cell phone plan yet another month and said, why is this so high? Is there anything else available? That's when we started looking around and we found Mint Mobile. We realized that there were 3 things that were really important to us in a cell phone plan. We wanted great coverage. Mint Mobile has the largest 5G network in the nation. We wanted unlimited talk and text because y'all know I like to talk, so I got to keep in touch with pretty much everybody. And we also wanted, this was super important to us because this was our scary point. We wanted something that would be super easy to switch to. Took us 15 minutes to switch to Mint Mobile, and yes, we did get to keep our previous cell phone numbers. We used eSIM, which most phones I think have that capability now, but if you have a cell phone and it doesn't, our kids didn't have that capability on their cell phone, so they had Mint Mobile send them a physical SIM card in the mail for free. And one more thing, of course, because this is a frugality channel, the price made us super duper happy. We pay $15 a month for our monthly plan with Mint Mobile, but the good news is right now, new customers can pay $15 a month for any of Mint's plans when they purchase 3 months or more. And this includes the unlimited plan, which is normally $30 a month. For more information, use our special link for Under the Median viewers. It's right down there. It is mintmobile.com/under the median, or there's a QR code right between us there on the screen. You can also scan that QR code, or you can scroll right to the top of this video where you'll also find a link. Mint Mobile, guys, go check them out.
Frugal people don't buy the newest generation of any phone or pretty much any electronics in general. I usually wait until something will go way down in price before I purchase it. Then I buy it at a pretty good price. It's still going to be just as good, even if it's a couple generations old. Remember, that was brand new at one time and was the latest technology available. It's still good. It still works. It still does all that you need it to do for a lot less money.
You know, I think you said it. It does what you need it to do. And I think that's what you have to figure out before you go shopping. What are my needs? Mm-hmm. You don't necessarily need all the bells and whistles, especially if you're not going to use those functions. And sometimes you're paying a premium price for stuff that you are never going to use. All right, thoughts? Make sure you leave them in the comments section. Necessity or not necessity to get a brand new cell phone? Are y'all waiting in line for when the phone stores open with that newest model of phone? Or you're like, I'm going to wait and see. It'll come down in price. That's kind of where we land. Eventually, it'll come down in price.
And the same is true for TVs or stereo audio equipment. There's so many different things out there that have been updated recently, and they're always updating because they want to try to get you to buy the brand new product. It is a little bit of a ploy, but you don't have to fall for that. If what you have is working and it's fine, it's compatible with everything that you have to play on it, don't worry about it.
Next one. This is a controversial one, guys. Paid television streaming services. We're not saying it's bad. Part of the problem is you get 3 or 4 of those babies going and you're putting out some serious money every month. If you've got Disney Plus and you've got Netflix. And well, I mean, let's just be honest. Netflix has some really cool series that are going to be coming out. And, you know, I just think that that we all want to know what's going to be happening with some of those blockbuster series that are coming back out on Netflix this summer. Does that get you to subscribe to Netflix? When they release a new, like, episodic series, and it's something like Bridgerton, don't we all want to know what's going on with Bridgerton? Seriously. Does it convince you that you want to get Netflix, even for a small period of time? Do you do it? No judgment from us. We're just saying that normally this is not considered a frugal thing.
Now, I got to say, I'm a little different when it comes to what I watch on TV, to the point where Hope kind of complains about my watching style. But I enjoy watching a certain amount of video classic movies over and over again, maybe once a year. And, you know, I drive Hope nuts a little bit with that. But it doesn't cost us anything because I've already got them in our collection.
All right. Necessity or not necessity, guys. Here's the next one. Paper towels. This is one we really don't do. We don't buy paper towels.
No.
I think the last set of paper towels we had, it was given to us.
Yeah,
Somebody gave us, I don't even know why we were given a roll of paper towels. I don't want to guess. It's been sitting, languishing for a really long time. We don't do paper towels. No. We really don't. We love, like, we cut up old sheets and
old towels. They make great
undershirts. Like when they wear out and you are not going to wear them in public anymore, because there's a length you'll go to there too and go, It's usually like somebody, your significant other, your spouse going, you are not wearing that out in public anymore. Then you cut it up and you make little, rags out of it, and you can sop up spills and things like that. We don't do paper towels. Next one. This is a controversial one. Y'all know. Okay, this one we have, but I put it in here because a dear friend of mine does not have one anymore because she didn't use it. Clothes dryers. We do hang things out on the line. Larry took a significant amount of flack in the comment section because he mentioned in a recent video that when I broke my arm, he was doing the laundry and he was using the dryer. Yeah. He was using the dryer. Yeah. And somebody said, well, you can still hang things out in winter. Well, not when, remember his arm barely works too. It doesn't do much yet.
This is pretty bad. Yeah.
And I certainly was not in a condition to go outside and hang things on the line or hang things inside. We do have an indoor line, but a lot of times we do, yes, but we do occasionally use our dryer. Do you have one? Do you use one? My friend Julie gave hers away after 3 years because she had not touched it in 3 years. Yeah. So we do occasionally use our clothes dryer, but we were curious whether some of you either own one and don't use it or you just don't own one at all. The next necessity or not necessity is prepared and jarred baby food. We did not buy it. We had a few emergency, we're doing air quotes again, emergency jars of baby food on the shelf. We tended to use it if we were going on a picnic or something, and so it needed to be portable, and it just wasn't, for whatever reason, it just was not going to be able to happen for us to take our pre-made, made at home baby food. But we just cooked stuff until it was totally tender and smashed it in the food processor until it was pulp.
Then she put it in jars and put it in the freezer.
Yep.
And it was ready to go. We could take it to my parents' house if we went over there for supper, and it worked out great.
I put it in ice cube trays, guys. Standard ice cube tray, I think, is 2 tablespoons. The standard ice cube. It worked really well. Mm-hmm. Disposable diapers, necessity or not necessity? It's okay, y'all. Weigh in the comments section. We use disposable diapers overnight.
Yeah.
We cloth diapered all 4 of our boys. Overnight was just, it was a whole thing, guys, especially when we had more than one child. I was like, there was a lot of leakage going on. That's all I'm saying. A lot of middle of the night taking off the bedding and replacing it. I was like, I think I'm done with this. So we used Huggies overnight.
I think we used them. I think we used them some if we traveled too.
Oh, yeah, we did some. But then the other time we used them was like a church on Sunday mornings.
Yes.
They did not want kids in the nursery with
cloth diapers.
They didn't want cloth diapers.
No,
that was a thing. It was a rule.
Well, it's hard for them to know what exactly to do with them in between the time that they're changed and we come and pick up our kids. So, yeah.
This next one, necessity or not necessity? Fancy baby equipment. Okay, I'm talking about the newfangled thing that every mom on the block is like, oh, you gotta get this. It is just such a cool thing. When we had our kids, it was baby. They had baby monitors, but the newest thing coming out were the baby monitors that had the little video screen.
Oh, yeah.
They were expensive.
Yeah, they were.
I mean, really expensive. And I don't even know if we even toyed with the idea. We had one of the ones where you could hear this child if they, and we were small. We had a small house, honest to Pete. In that size square footage, if we couldn't hear the baby, there was something seriously wrong with us.
Yeah, we didn't use it very much.
It just was not that big of a house.
No.
But, if we went downstairs or something to, when the baby was taking a nap, we'd have the monitor on. But those were cheap. I mean, cheap. I just, and they're always come out with something new that they're trying to convince parents you have to have this. If you are a responsible parent and a good parent, you will have XYZ for your child. We did not do a lot of that at all. And I think it improves. Tell me if you think I'm right. I think the more children you have, the more this ability to turn away from newfangled things. It's like this learned parenting skill, where you say, no, I don't need that. You figure out after your first one, there's a whole lot of stuff you do not need.
Yeah. Another controversial issue is food at restaurants. Now, Hope and I don't go out to eat for a couple of reasons. One is the price. The other is what we eat, what we like to eat. It doesn't really serve too much at restaurants. Restaurants don't serve an awful lot of vegan food. So because of that, we really don't go out to eat too much. We might go and bring something home and then modify it a little bit and add some things from our pantry to make it work. But otherwise, we really don't go out to eat very much. And I think frugal people in general don't do a lot of spending at restaurants because that costs a lot of money.
Yeah, and once again, restaurants they're not a deal breaker for us. So if you eat at restaurants, it's okay. You can tell us. Our big thing is going to Aldi's and taking $10 because Aldi's does have some plant-based things.
They do.
That we would term as vegan junk food.
Yeah.
And so our big date night is going and getting a couple of those items, maybe some chips, which we don't buy very often either, bringing them home and popping in a movie that we finally find that we can agree on. and that's our date night. We just don't, it's not a lure for us. It's not a thing for us. Necessity or not necessity, frozen or prepared entrees. These are the things that when you go to Sam's or Costco, they're giving you those little samples and they're all the prepared foods because they know that, especially if you go after church, you're going to want to take one home because you are hungry. Yep. Maybe the sermon was a little bit longer than normal and you just want to get that shopping done, get home, and you want instant lunch. You're probably going to take it with you. And there are multiple problems with, with frozen or prepared foods. One of which is you don't want to eat some of the stuff that's in those foods. Yep. And they're not really that good for you. They're high fat, they're high salt, they're high pretty much everything you don't want to have in your life. And so we don't like that for that reason, but they're really expensive.
Expensive. I was going to say, they are expensive. For what you're getting, you're paying a lot of money for the convenience of having it prepared and then frozen. However, we understand that there are couples that both are working, and once in a while, it's nice to treat yourself. So we're not saying never, ever do it, but as a general rule of thumb, it's better if you don't.
Now, frozen prepared entrees, that's one of the one of 30 things that we think you really should avoid buying at the grocery store. If you want to get a gander at the other 29 things that we said, no, you probably want to skip this aisle at the grocery store, we did a whole video on it. We call it the squeaky cart video because I drew the squeaky cart at the beginning of the video. The store was packed. There was like only one other cart even available, and I was like, I am not going back and getting it. So the cart is squeaky in the video.
It stayed with us the whole time.
Actually, it kind of became its own character in the video. Yeah, it's a very funny video. You want to see it? I'm going to link it, and yet informational at the same time. I'm going to link it, guys, up above, and I'll also put it in the description of this video.
The next thing that frugal people avoid pretty much is anything at full price. We don't like to pay full price for any item that we buy. There's always a way to get around that. Either it goes on sale or goes on clearance or something. You just have to look, be patient, wait, and make sure that you have enough working in your pantry, for instance, if it's a grocery item, that you can eat and wait for that item to get off of that full price.
All right, question. Necessity or not necessity? Do y'all ever, is there ever a circumstance under which you're like, I'm going to pay full price for it? You guys know what my deal breaker is. My Fitbit. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I love this watch. If it broke, I don't think Larry would even fight me on it. The next day, we'd be out buying a new Fitbit. I would try to find a discount on it, okay? I would try to find some sort of coupon available on a Fitbit, but what's your deal breaker? What's your thing that you're like, I don't know, this breaks, I'm paying full price, and I'm going to replace it. This next one's controversial too, guys. Necessity or not necessity? Loans.
Yeah.
And I think everybody's dream is to be debt-free. I think that people are too consistent at feeling like there's no option in making loans their first default.
Yeah.
And I think that is a huge problem. If you're going to buy a home, you'll get no shade from us if you put 20% down and take yourself out of a 15-year mortgage. There's no problem with that. We pay cash for cars. We think that that's entirely possible to do.
When Hope first brought the idea home that we were going to pay cash for a car, I thought, nobody pays cash for a car. You just pay off the loan. You don't worry about, some people don't even worry about what they pay for the car. They're worried about the payment, the monthly payment. How much are they paying to the bank every month? And I just thought, it's a given. You pay a loan for the rest of your life. And once we got off of that, I realized how much better it was just to pay cash and save that interest in the bank for you to use for something better.
His exact words when I brought this up over 35 years ago when I said, hey, let's pay cash for our next car. He looked at me and said, are you crazy?
Yeah, I think
he used the word crazy.
Yeah. I said it very lovingly and tactfully, though. But yeah.
I could tell by your raised eyebrows and your
what?
I could tell that you really were being very, very kind and compassionate and about it. But I think that once we started on this path of frugality and figuring out that it was really possible to live within our means. And I think that's why he said, you're crazy. Because we were making so little money.
Just barely over minimum wage.
That even the thought of being able to live successfully within our means, I think it was just too much for him.
I didn't know how we could save up enough money to pay cash for a car. That's one of the problems. Because it was enough just to have the money to pay off the loans. And we each had a loan on our cars at that time.
Yeah. We cannot wait to see how y'all vote in all of these points in the comments section. So if you're not buying these things, here's our question. Are you really even having any fun? Is frugality just a drag? Because that's where your thought process kind of eventually goes to. Yeah. No, there can be real fun to being frugal. And in fact, we did a whole video on that topic. Have fun, be frugal. The video is right over there.
If you don't know us, I'm Larry and this is Hope. We're from Under the Median. She doesn't talk very much, and that's the way it's going to be.